Hi, here we are again. A lot of people like light firearms for obvious reasons, especially hunters that go in the mountains. They don't want to be dragging around a 10-pound rifle or what have you. And I actually worked on this video for a little while because I had some questions from women hunters, and I guess there are more and more women hunters these days. And they don't necessarily all like carrying around heavy rifles either. So I kind of went through my vaults with an eye for what rifles are light, and I don't have them all, but I took out the ones that I thought would be appropriate for the video. So the first thing I wanted to start out with is the Mauser 98, because suppose we didn't have all these manufacturers and went back like 80 years, likely the rifle would be made on a Mauser 98 or on a Mannlicher Schönauer or something like that. But look at the steel in this thing. Like that's a big receiver ring. Everything about it is massive. I didn't weigh it, but it's difficult to make a light rifle on a Mauser action. If you do, you have to make the barrel very light or make the stock very slim or short or what have you. But still, the Mauser is the basis for even this Remington 660, which is it's not quite a shortened version of a Remington Model 700, but it's something like that. And actually, this is not a heavy rifle. It's in 243. This is not the original stock. This is some kind of custom stock. It's a laminate, and actually it looks okay to me. It has this unusual bolt handle, which some people don't like, and some people like. They're not made anymore. But I thought this would be an example of a rifle that might be suitable for some hunters that want a lighter rifle. Some women and others would find it still too heavy. But I took it out because it is the shorter version of the 700 Remington. And there's another model. This is the 660. And then another model called the 600 had a ventilated rib and was even shorter. And they come out in useful cartridges, like 308 and 243, and then even 350 Remington Magnum, which is a heavy recoiling number, but there's a lot of power there. Anyway, you've got the short Remingtons. Here's another one. This is kind of interesting. This is also a 660. You can see someone went to the trouble of taking off that unusual bolt handle, and I thought they did a great job. There's no safety on this particular gun. But as I said, I usually carry most bolt actions like that in a prior video. This isn't a very heavy rifle. The barrel's been replaced with a barrel from a Remington SPS. Anyway, I've fired this one and it's quite light. It has the plastic trigger guard, but you can get aluminum floor plates from at least one maker. And I think I have a couple of them, I just haven't installed it. Anyway, that's the smaller Remington. I don't know why I focused on the Remington, probably because I have them around. Somebody said you've got to include a Browning A-bolt. So this AB3, they call it, A-bolt 3 showed up. And it's light. I mean, it's not, to me, it's a light rifle, but it's not that light. So I thought maybe this isn't exactly the right direction either. Then some people buy these abbreviated rifles, like this Marlin actually came with this short barrel, obviously short magazine, and then the buttstock was this color, and it ended about here. But then in my wood inventory, I had this for some reason, which fit perfectly, and somehow that really short buttstock was, I felt my thumb would hit my nose or something on recoil, so I just put this on. Probably doesn't look the best, the two different colors, but that's an example of a rifle for women hunters or people that like light rifles. And it's an abbreviated gun, so shorter buttstock, shorter barrel, and shorter magazine. The action is the same as the full-size models. So I don't know if that's the solution. You get a lot of muzzle blast when you cut a barrel down there's just a lot of powder, even on a 30-30, exiting the muzzle that's unburnt. So you get flash and noise, of course. Then there's the single shot crowd. They like the New England firearms. Actually, a few people wrote me, and thanks for that, and said that I might be mistaken and they're making them again somewhere. Someone said they're making them in Turkey, I'm not sure. Anyway, I'll wait to see what happens next with this whole New England firearms saga. This one, you can look at the hole in the end, is in 500 Smith & Wesson. So this wouldn't be a light recoiling rifle. And I fired it, and it does kick. But anyway, they make these in all these usable calibers as well. And I guess a lot of hunters like them because they're so simple and to load and operate, quite safe. And you can put a scope on this, no problem. So that's another way to go, but I'm telling you, it's also not really all that light. I've been to the range with many different people, and the people that don't like heavy guns seem to think the problem is having a barrel that's too long and too heavy. Anyway, so where is all this leading? To the Kimber. This is the Kimber Montana, model 84M, and I think this is the ideal rifle for anyone that likes a lighter firearm. And for women hunters, I can't think of a better rifle than this one. It's in 257 Roberts, which is a great round. The barrel is full length. It's not too heavy. It's not too light. It's stainless steel. The stock is whatever, I don't know, Kevlar, graphite. I've lost track of these composites, but they're all good. Maybe it doesn't look as warm and friendly as a wood stock, but I mean, they're tough. And you can see what Kimber did. I'll set this down, and if you look at the size of the Mauser action, and Kimber did the most intelligent thing. They just simply reduced the size of everything, and there's actually no need for all this steel, but somebody obviously thought there was. Anyhow, it has all the features you would want in a bolt action rifle. A variation of controlled round feed, bolt diameter is minimal, and bolt travel is smooth. It's typical Model 70 safety, which is it's self-evident how it works. So that's locked and so on. And bolt removal is easy. Depress this, bolt slides out, and there's no floor plate to save weight. It's just a trigger guard, and loading and unloading is accomplished through the top. It's drilled and tapped for scope, of course, from the factory, and I have not seen one with iron sights. Maybe there are, and of course, I'm not necessarily up to date, like to the minute. There are Cooper rifles and others that Ultralight Arms has made some very light rifles, and Ultralight Arms has gone through different versions and reinvented itself a few times. I kind of lost track of it. But I know the Kimber is excellent because I've got this 84M, and then this one you've seen in a video before. This is the Adirondack. This stock is even lighter, and they've done some work on the bolt. You can see some, sorry about this scope. Neat scope, by the way. 4 turrets. I don't know if you've seen any of these. 4 turrets because I have 2 reticles, and it's made in Germany. Hard to find. Anyway, we'll talk about that scope another time. But they milled out the bolt so you can see, to reduce weight. And there's another version of the Kimber called the Mountain Ascent, which is a full-size rifle, and it's even lighter. This Adirondack has the shorter barrel, but in 300 blackout, that doesn't matter, and it's threaded for suppressor or what have you. So altogether, this is a pretty nice rifle, and if I didn't have the scope on here, it would be about 4 pounds, something like that. So I don't usually end up with like one kind of conclusion, because it all depends on what people like. But if you're after quality and lightweight and all the features you could want. The Kimber's hard to beat, and I've had a few requests to review these Kimbers and compare them to other rifles, and I think I better get to that, and we'll compare the Kimber with the Ruger and with the Vanguard and maybe some others. So women hunters, if you want something super light, easy to handle and accurate, you can't go wrong with a Kimber. You know, there are all kinds of custom rifles around, and by the way, Kimber has a new model that has a removable magazine. I looked at it, looks fine. I don't know if it's as light as this one, because the minute you add hardware, like a magazine, then the magazine has to have a housing, then you've got a floor plate. It's a game of ounces, so on these models, they got rid of everything they could. So I kind of like this Kimber quite a lot. It's an excellent rifle. So I hope that's useful and helpful, and thanks for watching.